Good morning, YouTube. I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about sharpening. I shot a video a few videos back about field sharpening and made a couple of suggestions about things to carry to do that, but I wanted to talk about sharpening at home, and I'm just going to talk about how I do it and what works for me. What I wanted to really get across is that unless you learn how to sharpen, you're not going to probably use your knife very much. Unless you're really well off and can just pay somebody to sharpen it for you all the time. And I know people like that don't know how to sharpen, and they take them to a knife sharpener and pay them a fee to sharpen it for them. But the kind of volume of practice that you need learning to craft pieces for traps or camp craft, you're going to have to do it yourself, and that means using the knife, and that means the knife's going to get dull, and then a dull knife is dangerous because it can slip and cut you instead of removing wood. So you really need, if you're going to be serious about campcraft and skills, you need to learn to sharpen. You need to use the knife often. So field touch-ups are fine, but establishing the edge and maintaining it has to be done at home usually, and requires an investment of time. Also, a lot of times when you get a new knife, you're going to find that it's not profiled properly. So a lot of times they manufacture these knives and they sharpen them on a slack belt, and the guy is just doing it by experience and knowledge. And what you'll get is you'll get this uneven grind, where one side will be a little bit differently ground than the other, something like this. And so you're going to have to work at reprofiling your knife so that you get a nice clean edge, not a goofy slipped edge. I really recommend using a table stone or a flat stone. This is a Smith's. This is also a Smith's. These are both medium stones. This one was this, but it came out of its base. You can see this one's been worked a lot because now it's concave, and I only use it for like my hawks and things now instead of my knives. So I picked up another one. One thing you can do that I recommend is put some nails in your workbench or some screws and trap this between those screws or nails, and then it won't slip around, and you don't have to hold it while you're sharpening. And I've seen people do that where they hold this and they sharpen this. Well, what can happen is your thumb or something can creep up here and you'll cut yourself. So it's best if you nail this down on your workbench, and then you don't have to manipulate the stone with your hand. I don't really like super soft, heavy, coarse stones. I usually just like to use a medium and then finish up with a fine. This was about a 3-inch or 4-inch stone. I have a terrible habit of dropping these, and so I end up with these little fragments. And this is usually, once I've established my edge on my knife, then I will just finish up very gently, truing up the edge with the hard stone, the very fine hard stone. And I'm just gently touching it. I'm not even putting any pressure. I'm just letting the weight of the knife in my hand do the work. You want a very fine edge. Now if you do this right, what you'll end up with, and it probably won't show up here, I can see it, but you want the edge here to appear as a black line. That means that you've achieved that. If you're seeing a reflection of light on the edge, boy, the crows are really after me this morning. If you're seeing any whiteness on this edge, it means that you've got a wide spot or a ding that you haven't taken out. But you should end up with a black line. So another type of stone that I use sometimes is a water stone, and it's very heavy because it's full of water. But I'll put this into a pan and let it soak, and then I'll take it out. This one is two-tone. So one side, this blue side, is your coarse side for establishing your profiling your edge, and then the gray side is your finishing side. Again, it's the same thing. And yes, I'm doing this by hand, even though I said it's not a wise idea. Again, it's best if you mount this on a table, or you could have a piece of dedicated plywood, or a 2x6 piece of 2x6, and you don't have to put screws or nails into your bench. You can just put it on that board, and then that board then becomes your stone workbench. The idea is that you can slip it between those nails, pop it out, turn it over, use the other edge side if you want. If you have some knives that are a little narrower, you can use the side edge, although in this case I've got two different grits here. I've never worked with diamond sharpeners. I hear good things about them, and I've thought about picking up a pocket diamond sharpener, but again, just for field touch-ups. But again, for at home and setting up my knives, my choice is for a nice big stone. This is how my dad taught me to sharpen, and this is how I've sharpened all of my knives all my life. And you know, some people are like, oh, your blades are scratched and like that. Well, yeah, they are scratched. I'm using them. And you know, if you've got some high dollar collectible knife, then you're probably not going to use it, and you're not going to need to sharpen it, and you know, it's just going to be for show, and you know, maybe something that sits on the mantle, and that's fine. You know, maybe it's a family heirloom, I don't know, but I like to have stuff that I can use, and you know, I like to practice my skills, you know, knife handling, you know, making a push cut like this. The only way you're going to learn bushcraft skills, campcraft, ways to make your camping experience more fun and enjoyable, is if you get out and do these things. Now if you have serrated knives like 50/50s, you're going to need some kind of a serration sharpener. I mentioned this one before. This little diamond sharpener point for serrations came out of a Smith's sharpener. It broke off, and so I mounted it in a piece of deer antler, and now I have a really nice little tool that I can use. I like that very much. And then this is a Lansky tri-sharpener, and this is one that I take with me in the field. It's great for touch-ups, but it also has 3 angles That's a fish hook sharpener in there. 3 angles that fit most serrations. So this is what you'll need at home to touch up those serrations. This knife that I have this morning is just a $3.87 Walmart copy of the Swiss Army knife. Not the best, but I brought a surprisingly good sharp edge out on it, and that's what it's all about. Learn to sharpen, get out there, practice, and enjoy your knives. So just a few thoughts this morning, and I hope you'll practice those skills and learn to use knives safely, and that means learning to sharpen. Okay, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.